Hey everybody, welcome back to Nick and Eli Talk at you. Now with way more technology, live from the basement. I am Nick. I'm here with Eli. Eli, say hi.
What up, what up, what up?
And we are videoing this. We have a mixer. Everything is super exciting these days. Eli's
Hell
on
yeah,
video. That's exciting.
man. It's just funny, it was so long since we did this. Like I was doing other podcasts, but I was just the talent, So I didn't know about the behind the scenes, how it was done, and how simple it is now to do this stuff. Like if you really wanted to do it, just a little bit of effort,
Yeah.
and you're pretty good.
I mean, it's really crazy. It's like even with $0, you can make a much better podcast than we did 8 years ago.
Maybe quality rise, but not quantity. But not. I mean, maybe quality, but not like content wise.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, for sure.
I
So
legit believe that our old show was the bomb.
and the new show is also the bomb.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. We are the bomb.
Yeah, man. We are. Fuck that. I don't give a shit.
So how was your week this week? Where have you been up to?
It's literally been the same shit.
Been nothing.
It's like Groundhog Day every single day. It's just funny, to get right into it. Me and my wife are talking. I want to see your opinion.
Mm.
And you know how the great mighty Orange in charge?
Yeah.
That whole thing that he said about the meat factories are shutting down and all that stuff, and he kind of ordered them open.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I think that's a good call for once.
Mm-hmm.
My wife was like, oh, but what about the sick people? I'm like, well, have the people be more protected in the factories.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like they know there's an issue with people getting sick with COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So just make sure that the people working the factories are more protected. Because I'm like, if meat doesn't come, that's going to be a problem for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I could probably fuck with eating vegetarian style food for a bit. Like I'm a big fan of pasta sauce. I make a mean pasta sauce. I think you might have even had my pasta sauce. I'm not sure, but I make a mean pasta sauce.
Yeah, I don't remember. But yeah, I saw pictures on Instagram. Didn't you make one the other day?
I might have. Yeah. I make it, every so often, 'cause that's my wife's favorite food. She says that she was going to be executed tomorrow. Her last meal would be spaghetti and red sauce. And I'm like, you're Peruvian.
Yeah, seriously.
But but I could mess with like non-meat type stuff for a bit. So like, how do you feel about the things that our great commander-in-chief said?
I mean, it's tough because I think on the one hand, like I agree with your wife in that on the one hand, it's like a lot of people in kind of close contact. Like if you've seen videos, it's like, everyone's kind of on a conveyor belt. And so it's really close. I used to work on a conveyor belt and like you're really up next to people,
Yeah.
not with meat, but with makeup. And
I mean, like I've seen videos of the meat packing plants, and I've seen how the guys are like, whatever, they're like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the issue is I agree. I think the issue is that you have to really like get your protocols down and show that, you can do it safely. I think the problem is there's a stigma, I think rightfully so. There's a stigma about meat processing and that it's kind of an industry where, it's like a lot of undocumented people or a lot of like kind of lax regulation where it's like, yeah, if you want to, get paid really terribly and do a really gross job, we'll have you. And so I think there's like a shade over kind of what goes on in a meat packing plant or meat processing plant. So I think if they were really transparent and they were like, here's what we're doing, here's how people will be safe, or like if you're an employee, if you don't feel safe, don't come in. Like make it so like it's the compromise, then I think it's fine. I think if you're like saying you must stand in front of someone who's coughing and chop this chicken, that's bad, right? So, it got dark. You're being signaled.
Anyway,
it's the lawn. So yeah, I mean, I can see both sides. I think a lot of it comes down to transparency. Like show the people that it's safe or
well,
not.
Yeah, like exactly, like that was what I was saying. Like just make sure that the people are wearing the proper PPE at the meat packing plants and make sure they're taken care of. Whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that'll be a big fucking problem though.
Yeah.
Because I know I listen to a lot of well, not as much as I used to.
Mm.
I used to listen to a metric crap ton of podcasts.
Now you just
But I
listen to
don't,
ours because we have everything you need.
yeah, I don't that much anymore. But just I was listening to podcasts and just talking about how it hasn't happened to me so much. It's funny at the big supermarkets. Like I sent my daughter out she went to go get some stuff, and I'm like, oh, bring me some pork. She's like, what? I go, whatever. I'm making this Peruvian dish called carapulcra.
Okay.
Which is a dehydrated potato that you then rehydrate and you cook it. It's the bomb.
Wait,
dude.
do you dehydrate it yourself, or do you
No.
buy
You
it
buy a
dehydrated?
little bag,
Okay.
and when you open it and you pour it into a little container, it sounds like the little rocks in the bottom of the fishbowl.
Sure, yeah.
You hear clink, 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 but they're potatoes.
Like,
but they're like
food.
they're hard. They're like hard, but they're dehydrated, in the sun, in Peru. At least that's how it's done, and then they're rehydrated, and it has a different flavor. If you ate it, you're like, what is this?
Sure.
But anyway, I needed pork. You can make it with chicken, but fuck that. So I'm like, I need some pork. She's like, they have nothing. So my daughter was at I think Walmart. But yeah, when I went to there's a store on Sunrise Highway called the Fruit Tree. They had everything.
Oh.
So I don't know, like it's weird. Like I heard in several podcasts from several places in our lovely little country.
Yeah.
And they're all, I went there, they didn't have this, they didn't have that, they didn't have this. But when I go to the Latino, supermarkets, they always tend to have everything. So I don't know, I find it a little weird.
Yeah, I think so. I think this is also interesting with like the paper goods. I don't know how it's been on Long Island, but here, I mean, it's like if you see a roll of paper towels or a roll of toilet paper, you go buy it. Because it's like, who knows? So I think it's an interesting problem because the supply chain is so big. So I read a really interesting article about the toilet paper issue, and that the issue wasn't that people were pooping more at home, because that was one hypothesis, that people aren't pooping at work, so that means everyone's pooping more at home, and so there's a higher demand because everyone's using it at home. What I read was that actually it has to do with the two streams of production, that there's a residential toilet paper production and a commercial production, and you can't just like flip a switch and make more residential toilet paper. It just has to do with like histories of demand, and so they've kind of split. It's kind of evolved into like, all right, well, we need machines that make really thin toilet paper for airports and machines that make really plush paper for homes. And so when anything shifts in that historic demand, everything breaks, right? So I think part of the issue is stores not being able to keep up. I read this too, that it's actually not a problem of not having the items. It's not being able to get it on the shelves fast enough for people to buy it.
But I mean, the whole thing, like the pictures that I saw and videos that I saw where you see the average person, and I'm going to call them what they are, assholes, when they have...
I thought you were going to say meat eaters.
You know what I'm saying? When they have like 3 packs of like 50 toilet paper rolls in their shopping cart.
Yeah.
That has to also be a big part of it when one person is buying enough toilet paper for for I don't know, let's say 5 families.
Yeah, I think it's a positive feedback loop, right? It's like I've gone weeks without seeing toilet paper. So then the week I see toilet paper, I'm like, oh, I should get it, because who knows how many more weeks will go by when I don't see it again, right? So I think there's part of that where it's like, I'm not a hoarder, but I do have more toilet paper in my house right now than I usually do, just because I'm insecure, right? It's like food insecurity. I'm toilet paper insecure. It's like
it's funny. You're wording it a lot more eloquently than I put it. The way I put it,
you're like, these assholes buying all this toilet paper.
Dude, that's literally what I said to my friend Victor. I'm like, if all these other assholes are acting like assholes, then I gotta act like an asshole too.
Yeah,
I wouldn't, but like I got at that point, I think I had maybe 7 rolls of toilet paper, which whatever. I'm fine. Yeah. 7 is fine. Yeah. I'm good. I go through about 1 a day. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. I haven't measured my output like that, but yeah.
Well, I do because, like we shop and, my daughter lives here. Her boyfriend stays with us. My sister's staying with us.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like there's 5 people in my home.
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, so 1 a day is good.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yo, shit. So when I went to like that same Spanish supermarket called the Fruit Tree, they had TP and paper towels. I went and bought some. And then I was on my phone looking at Amazon to buy something, and I was at Walmart. I'm a night owl. In
Okay.
case y'all don't know, I'm a night owl. So
I know
I
it's
was up
surprising that
late.
we're up so early today.
Oh yeah, I'm shocked myself. So I was looking at Walmart.com, and they had a 30 pack and a 20 pack
Mhm.
of regular Scott. You know, the 1,000 things.
I got
I
that
bought
too.
both. So I bought both of them. So I bought 50 rolls to have in my house. You know, and I felt a bit like a moron doing it, but I'm like, if I don't do it, I'm
No,
gonna
but
be
then someone else looks at you and they say, "Look at this asshole buying 50."
exactly.
You know, it's a positive feedback. You know, it's crazy. But it's
Is it
interesting.
Ouroboros
What's
eating
that?
his own tail?
Yeah, exactly. It's interesting though because like the Scott shipment must have come through because on what is today? Tuesday. On Sunday, my mother-in-law texted us saying, "Hey, you need toilet paper? I got some toilet paper. I can mail it to you." She's in Arizona and she's already mailed us a single roll like a month ago. She mailed us a single roll just being
That's
like,
hilarious.
"Here."
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
So, but she sent us a picture and she had the Scott's thing too. It's the same brand, the same like packaging, everything. So I go, no, we're fine. We have enough. And then the next day I go to the store to do our weekly supply run, is what I call it now. It's like I gotta leave the compound and get supplies, and all they had was a few things of Scott's, like the 10 pack or 20 pack, whatever it was. And so I was like, well, I might as well pick it up because if these assholes are buying all this toilet paper, I better be that one too. And so I bought a pack, and then you got the Scott's too. So something about Scott's. Now that's an N of three observations. Something about Scott's, their shipment came into all the stores, and we picked it up. I got ours at Target, so
And I
good
will
on
say this:
Scott's.
I've been putting my nose up at Scott for years. I usually buy the better stuff, and I noticed this stuff works perfectly fine.
Hey, beggars can't be choosers, right?
But I've literally like I think it's been fine. I think it lasts a little longer, and it's fulfilling all our needs just fine, as opposed to getting the quilted whatever the hell.
It's funny. So when I grew up on Long Island, as you know, and I grew up in a household that bought the single rolls. You know, like the rolls that are wrapped in like paper.
Yep. Yep.
And then when I met Mariana in college, and we were now like we were living in a dorm, but it was kind of an apartment, so like you still needed to buy your own things. We were buying toilet paper, and she went to like the 48 pack of like quilted northern or whatever. And I was like, "What's wrong with you? Like, what are you, a hoarder? Like, we don't need that much toilet paper." And so I started picking up like single rolls, and she's like, "Why are you buying like the cheapest stuff?" It was a culture shock for sure. That was one of the many. Uh, growing up with the single papers, and she had the big pack, and leave it to me to buy the toilet paper nowadays. Right before the quarantine started, it was right when we should have been buying more toilet paper. Like our 48 pack or whatever was getting low, and
Okay.
it was too late. I didn't go out and hoard early, and so for the first few weeks, we were within 5 rolls of outage. We tried to buy a bidet. And
they're sold out, right?
They're sold out, and there are people selling them for like twice the price. We always wanted one. We wanted to get a Toto toilet, but
that's the Japanese ones,
that's
right?
the Japanese one. Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, like when I was in Japan, I really got used. It's funny. Your dad,
Yeah.
he refused to use the bidet feature. He's I don't know. He's like, I ain't doing that shit. If you guys ever get to meet Edson, he's my best friend from high school.
Yeah.
Known that dude for like 30 years or whatever the fuck. But he sometimes just gets so rigid and hard-headed about the dumbest shit. Like for example, like that whole thing with the Japanese toilet.
Yeah.
Like on the hotel to have it, and I'm like, okay, let me check this out. I'm like, ooh, oh, I feel fresh.
I hear that from every single person who has either had a Toto toilet or a bidet or something. They're like, once you go to use a bidet, you'll never go back. So
it was dope. It was really, really good. I loved it.
Yeah.
But Edson was like, I don't know. I'm like, oh, bro. Like last night we were talking, right? We were bullshitting for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, and we got to talking about. I mentioned to him because on my Voodoo account, I let him use it because I have, I bought quite a bit of the 4K movies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, bro, I got the Maze Runner in 4K, which is not a bad series. I know you never seen it. He goes, I got the Hunger.
I've actually listened to all the audiobooks.
The movies are really good.
I saw the first one. The first one was fine.
Yeah. So I told him, oh, we got into Hunger Games. And he's like, he's like, fuck Hunger Games. It's like Harry Potter. I'm like, what? Like, where do you correlate Harry Potter and Hunger Games? Oh, they're both for kids. I'm like, no, no, no. Harry Potter's for kids. Hunger Games is for teenagers.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? The shit that
Young
happens in
adults.
the
Yeah.
Hunger Games, are you kidding me? He's like, oh, fuck that movie. I'm like, they're good. They're good movies. I really enjoyed them.
The later Harry Potter movies are for young adults too. The later Harry Potter
They got
movies,
dark as hell.
yeah, it's like the parents are being killed and like it's some crazy stuff.
But he was like, oh, they're for kids. I'm like, dude, Hunger Games isn't for kids. But anyway, so he's that hard-headed guy. But I would love to get one of those toilets, but I know to get the whole thing, like the whole unit, not the bidet attachment.
Yeah.
I think it's like, isn't it like $1,000? I think it's for like on Amazon for like $1,000 before all this craziness.
So the one that we were gonna get, it was kind of like a midline one, and it's just like the lid, right? It's like you can buy the whole toilet, but I'm not gonna replace a toilet. It's just the lid. It was like $600, and that was like it didn't have all the features, but it had like the important ones. The seat warmed up. It had the water. You know, it does like the pre-mist. What are you showing me? Oh, that's the whole that's the whole toilet. If you just get the attachment, like the seat attachment, it's
that's still like I feel here like 300, and this is not the the gouge price. Is just I'm seeing some here for like 300.
I think we were looking at the K100 or the K300 or K something.
Yeah.
It was like $599, I think, and it I gawk, like I am very cheap, and so I'm like it's a toilet seat. You can get a toilet seat for $30 at Home Depot, you know, but. I'm fine. I was like, fine. If you consider the cost of toilet paper and you don't have to use it, or you use one sheet or whatever, it pays for itself over time.
$5,000 for one of them.
That's gouging. Is it
no,
gouging?
That's the regular price. I have it in stock. $4,500. Ooh, that toilet better, like, I don't know, man. Little hands with like Mickey Mouse gloves come in and like massage my butt cheeks or something. Because holy crap,
you can buy a car for that much.
You could. You could buy a nice little fucking refurbished, certified pre-owned Toyota.
Oh, man. All right. I'm going to try to sneak in a break. I don't have any breaks programmed into this thing, so I'm just going to play a little music. Actually, you know what I can do? I can play a little actual real-life music from Spotify if I can Bluetooth connect this. So I'm doing this live on air, everybody. I hope you're excited. Let's Bluetooth connect this. Bluetooth connect. And then we're going to play a little bit of break music while we actually cut in a real break. And then we'll be back with whatever we're talking about today. Am I paired? Pair. Yes.
Damn, that's cool.
I think I'm pairing my Bluetooth device right now. We'll cut all this out in post. It's not working. Anyway, okay. I am going to play our music, and then we will be back in a minute. And we're back, Eli. All right. So last week I brought up the topic of pets. What do you want to talk about this week?
Actually, I want to talk about real quick. Because everything blends together now.
Yeah.
On the last episode, did I speak about Hunters on Netflix? I mean, on Amazon.
Not on the podcast. We talked about it in text or like before or after. You had told me to watch it.
Okay, so me and my wife killed season 1.
Is there only one season?
What was that?
Is there only one season?
Yeah, I think it's relatively new, which is unfortunate. You know, because it's ended so good.
Okay.
So good. But I'm gonna spoil the first 5 minutes of episode 1.
Okay.
You know, anybody out there who maybe they're like, eh. Well, 5 minutes, episode 1. All right. It opens where you see this the state secretary or whatever the fuck, that works for the president.
Sure.
His name is Biff. He's having a cookout at his house. You see 2 families there, like 4 people. You see his kids, 3 kids, I think it's 3 kids in the pool, and they're talking like, wow, I guess working, being the Secretary of State, pays well because he has lakefront property, big pool. You see a new couple walks in, a pretty young lady, like in her 30s, holding a plate of whatever, let's say potato salad, right? So they're talking, and Biff is like, well, Biff is like, hey, welcome to my house, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like a southern accent.
Sure.
And the girl just walking, and she's wearing yellow, and she looks at him, and her hands start shaking with a plate of
potato salad,
mashed potatoes. Looking at him, and she drops it, and she starts talking in Polish. She's like, the butcher. And he's like, hey, you gotta tell your little girl here to calm down. I don't know what's wrong with her. She's like, you're the butcher. And she calls him by his name. I forgot what his German name is. And he's like, listen, just tell your little girl to calm down.
This is the Secretary of State that she's talking to?
Yes.
Okay.
Biff,
the guy's house.
The guy's house. And he's like, and she's flipping out. She drops it. She's like, you see her very, very emotional. She's like, you're the butcher. You murdered my parents or whatever the fuck it was. Oh, And he's like, listen, maybe tell your little girl to calm down. Talking to the husband. And she starts flipping out, screaming. And he reaches underneath the grill, pulls out a silenced pistol, shoots everybody there, including his kids. He kills his 3 kids.
Wow.
And his wife. He kills his wife, 3 kids, let's say the 6 guests that were there, except for her.
Okay.
And
except for the person speaking Polish.
Yes, the person. And then he starts talking to her how and this is so creepy. He's like, 30 years. I hid. You know what I'm saying? I breeded with this disgusting woman, and I gave birth to these 3 half-blood disgusting pigs, referring to his kids that he just murdered.
Jeez.
And then he pops her, and then it goes to credits. Now, if that alone does not get you like doesn't pique your interest, I don't know what will.
And so give a synopsis. What is the show about? It's about Nazi hunters, is that right?
Yes. So the show takes place in the 70s, I think specifically on my birthday, 1977.
Okay.
And it's about and it's loosely based on true story.
Okay.
And because I know the whole Nazis running to Argentina, and I know that the U.S. government did get some of their brightest minds and stuff, but it goes really into it. Again, I don't know what's factual or not because the show it goes into a lot of things. Yeah. That events that happened during that time, and it's blamed on Nazi plans.
You mean things like the oil strike and things?
Well, actually,
what happened in the 70s? I don't remember.
If I mention more, it'll be a bit spoilerish.
Okay. certain real life events that happened in the 70s.
Real life events, and the show kind of blames it, which I'm sure that was them being embellishing the truth.
Sure.
To make it more dramatic.
Sure.
But so the show's about this one young man that his name is Jonah. He ends up falling into this whole Nazi conspiracy that's going on. And it's I don't know if you know, but Al Pacino is in it.
Yeah, I saw that he's on the cover, like old Al Pacino.
He plays an old, concentration camp survivor.
Okay.
And it's about that, like, finding out, all these Nazis hidden among us, who have regular jobs and who work for the government and do stuff, and they infiltrated us deeply.
Huh.
Yeah, but it's really, really good.
Is the whole thing like super violent? Is the whole thing like super violent, like in the beginning, or?
It has its times of violence, but I was told that it was super violent from several people, but I don't think it was. I've seen Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay.
I think Game of Thrones was much more violent.
Right.
They have scenes that they don't show it outright, but you do. It does have its bloody scenes here and there. But I thought it was great.
Cool.
I thought it was really good. Like especially now during this quarantine, we're all looking for shit to do.
Yeah.
Like I said, me and my wife killed it in 2 days.
Wow. What else would you recommend if we're going to be on the topic of things to watch during the quarantine?
Oh, but this was actually funny. It's another, because for some reason, I pay for Amazon Prime, as do everybody else. They made Jeff Bezos the richest man in the world.
Yeah, I paid for it.
And we started watching Carnival Row.
Okay, I've seen the little picture of it, but I have no idea what it's about.
Carnival Row takes place during like Industrial Revolution era in a fictional world. You know what I'm saying? Where
is this the one with like fairies and stuff?
Yes, where men, people like you and me, men, we share the world with mythical creatures. So there's fairies, there's kobolds, there's fawns, there's centaurs, and there's like monster type creatures in the world. So I mean, pretty much like the fairies, it's kind of almost an allegory for like minorities.
Yeah, it's kind of. Did you see that movie Bright with Will Smith?
Yes,
Is it like that where it's like
kind of, sort of, but
okay?
more.
Because that movie wasn't very good.
Well, I mean, Bright to me was entertaining for what it was,
Yeah.
like a popcorn movie, you know.
Yeah.
So, but this one it goes deeper, where like the fairies are persecuted. Like for example, Carnival Row is the name of the area, and I forgot the name of the whole town, but whatever.
London.
It's the part of
sure. London. Let's call it London.
Pretty much, yeah. So Carnival Row is the area where the poor people live.
Okay.
You know, that's where they have the whorehouses and factories and the equivalent of the wet markets. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they live, and the rich people live in the other side.
I see.
You know, so like for example, if you're living in that town, like fairies aren't allowed to fly. It's illegal. Like, so that kind of shit. You know, so all the fawns are servants.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The centaurs are like, actually you only see very few centaurs in the, I guess it's probably too expensive.
Rare centaurs.
But it's this whole plot, and the main character is Orlando Bloom, Legolas himself.
Oh wow, he's in it?
Yeah, he's the main character.
Is he old?
He looks he mind you, I think he's a little younger than me.
Okay.
But I think he looks older than me. Which is kind of fucked. You know how celebrities tend to look younger?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they be eating baby blood.
Yeah.
But anyway,
they can buy it.
Yeah, but the show's that was cool, and me and my wife killed that, and that's just funny when my wife goes, "You better think of something else for us to watch."
Yeah. Well, see,
when we watched Hunters,
and we were talking right before we started recording. You still have not seen Tiger King, which you need to watch with Roxy. She'll like it. So I just rewatched it, which I mean. I felt weird after rewatching it because, like, he's definitely a bad guy, right? He's like definitely a bad guy.
Oh, Joe Exotic?
Yeah, Joe Exotic is a bad guy, but you also feel a little bad for him. Like, and you feel bad for like the people he was around, like his ex-husband and his other people. Like, it's worth a watch. It's what, 6 or 7 episodes. It's really well done. Like, it's well videoed, recorded. I don't know what you would call it. Definitely worth a watch, at least to put all the memes in context.
I mean, like I said, like I specifically watched like a 10-minute YouTube video. So I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Like, you know,
that's why you need to watch it. And now you're like, what? WTF? Now you have to watch it.
So now I kind of get it. But you know, another thing we started watching yesterday, because again, we had nothing else to do but watch movies and shows. There's a show on Netflix. We watched 2 episodes, and it was very well produced. It's called Kingdom.
Oh, that's the one. I saw the Last Kingdom.
No, just Kingdom.
Oh, okay. So I thought is it the one where there's like a Viking and a Saxon or something?
No. Actually, that looks cool because I love Vikings, but no, I don't know nothing about that one yet.
Okay, sorry.
But Kingdom takes place in China during the sword era. I don't know what's the proper name for that. Well, when they were still fighting the swords and bow and arrows. I don't know what's that's called. Okay. Like the Ming Dynasty type.
Pre gunpowder.
Pre-gunpowder.
Okay.
So it's set in that world, period piece. Yeah, but I'm saying like the production quality, like really, really nice. Like it's shot in 4K. It's very clear. It's shot very, very, very well. Like the shots are cool. Like low camera. Anyway, it's long story short, it's about zombies.
Wow.
Yeah, and it starts off where again the 5-minute spoiler where it seems like the emperor is dead. But they're like, no, he's not dead. He's not dead. Long story short, I mean, you can figure out right away that he's a fucking
zombie.
Yeah. And yeah.
But can he think? Or is he just like a mindless zombie?
This is one scene where the crown prince, he's trying to find out what's going on with his father. And again, this is episode 1, so not too much spoilers.
Yeah.
He's trying to figure out what's wrong with his father, but they're not letting him see him. Mm-hmm. So he sneaks into the palace to see his father. And he's in his room and he closes, the sliding doors with the rice paper windows, right?
Yeah.
And you see a thing walking by, like a silhouette. It was shot so fucking dope. And you hear like typical zombie sound,
okay.
Like growl, like this guttural growling. Mm-hmm. And he's in there. And he's like, what the fuck is that? Then he confronts everybody. There was a monster here. They're like, all right, get this crazy man out of here.
Yeah.
You can leave now. The queen doesn't want you here. You can leave. and it just develops more into that. And I just got in episode 2 is when you first really see zombies, and there is a different take, slightly different take on zombies.
Yeah.
And I'll leave it
Are
at that. Just
are they
I don't
are
want
they
to spoil it.
are they slow shambling zombies? Or are they like the rage zombies?
From the little bit that I saw, they move at like a slightly normal speed.
Okay.
But the thing with these zombies is that they're kind of like vampires. They're like vampire zombies, where in the daytime they go dormant,
Okay.
and at nighttime they get up and do what they got to do.
That's kind of like I Am Legend, right?
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
Okay.
But except those creatures were kind of smart. These are definitely zombies.
I see.
Like mindless zombies. But we watched 2 episodes. I was exhausted. We stopped watching it. My wife went to bed. But we definitely gonna watch some more today. But it was really good.
Cool.
Yeah, like Cheap Ass Gamer, one of my all-time favorite podcasts.
Yeah.
The main guy, Cheapy D, he was talking about it. But the other 2 hosts were like, "Yeah, we're not gonna watch that. It's in subtitles."
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it in English or is it in Chinese?
It's definitely in I believe it's actually Korean, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh. So
It's a Korean take on Chinese history.
Okay.
I don't know, but I think it's Korean.
So speaking of Korean zombies, have you seen Train to Busan?
Love that movie.
Yeah.
I like that one. And I like the other movie that I think it was made by the same company. Have you seen? It's called Flu.
I have not.
It's just called Flu. That's it.
Okay.
It's on Amazon. You gotta watch it.
Okay. Is it topical for the current coronavirus?
Very much. Very much. But I saw it years and years and years. Like, I thought I didn't see it, but then when I got to the climax of the movie, me and my wife were like, "Oh yeah, we've seen this." But I have forgotten. But it's also very well shot, very nice production values. But Flu is really, really good.
Cool.
Really, really good. And it's so creepy and topical.
Yeah.
Like, I've been watching a lot of those kind of movies. I guess, like, I watched Contagion.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm like, I was watching it again after years, and I'm like, whoo, boy.
Well, I mean, Contagion, they consulted with a lot of epidemiologists from Columbia University when they were making it to make it realistic, how like a response would be. So watching it now, it's like, yeah, some of
When's the last time you seen it?
When it came out. I saw it when it came
you should
out.
Watch it again, dude.
Yeah, I have to watch it.
They have it on Netflix.
See, I've been watching Watchmen. I've been rewatching Watchmen, the HBO show.
I never even saw that.
It's good. It's really good. It's very woke,
Okay.
It's very much about, race and relations with the police and relations between white people and non-white people, and it takes itself like very seriously. But I don't think it's too much. I think it's good for, how the world is right now. And it's only 10 episodes. There's not going to be a season 2, and that's it.
Wait, there's not gonna be season 2?
No, so Damon Lindelof, who's the guy who wrote it, who did Lost and The Leftovers, he said that he is not going to be a part. He's like, I don't plan a season 2. I don't think there should be a season 2.
Wait, so it ended like, well, obviously without spoilers, it ended it wrapped up whatever was going on?
Well, the ending is kind of left to your imagination. It's if there was a season 2, you would call it a cliffhanger or something that would need to be resolved. If it's not, then it's kind of like it ends like a book. It's kind of like you can determine what happens in your head.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are any of the characters from the original, comic and / movie in that?
Yeah. So I don't want to spoil anything, but there are definitely some. I mean, if I'm thinking about the ads, so Dr. Manhattan is in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was in one of the trailers, so I have no problem saying that.
Okay.
Who else is in it?
What about like what was his name? Not the Joker guy. What's his name?
Rorschach?
No, I know he died in the original the original series. The guy with the black eyes that tried to rape the woman.
The comedian.
Oh my God.
He died at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah,
he died at the beginning of the book.
Yeah.
He's not in it.
Oh, okay.
But Silk Spectre Jr. is. Silk Spectre 2, what's her name? I forget her name, who was kind of a main character in the movie and in the book. She's in it, and she's kind of a main character.
That's cool.
Yeah. But it's really cool, and there's a lot of new characters, too. There's
that guy with a metallic face.
Yeah, there's a guy with a metallic face. He's called Looking Glass. There is Night Sister. Night Sister is the main character. She's new. But it goes, so just a synopsis of it takes place in the current time in the
In that world.
world where the book happened.
Oh,
So
so
like,
it's like what, 20 years, 30 years
yeah,
later?
it's like 30 years later. It's like 2019, and it takes place in a world where the events of the book happened. And if you haven't read the book, read the book. So kind of retcon the movie because the movie kind of retconned the book, and so now it takes place in 2019 in a place where the book is canon. So it kind of looks at so the characters that come back,
Oh, wait. So it goes by the comic, not the movie?
it goes by the comic. Yeah,
Oh, so that big tentacle thing happened?
yeah, yeah. I was trying
Oh,
not to say it
shit.
to not spoil people, but I guess the book came out 30 years ago. But yes,
Yeah, come on, man. Statute of limitations
but
is
yes.
way
So
over.
yeah, so 30 years ago in the story, the monster came to New York, and
Oh,
there's
shit.
been this threat of an alien invasion, or from another dimension, and there's kind of ramifications of that. Some characters' backstory intersects with that. Um, it's cool. It's really cool. It's like it, like it feels like a sequel because you know a lot of the characters, you kind of know the events they're talking about, but it's very new too. A lot of the characters,
That's
all the
cool.
main characters are new characters that don't exist in the book. So, yeah, it's cool. I
Hmm.
really like it. It's 10 episodes. You can't go wrong. You can do it in 2 days.
Yeah, like I've been meaning to catch up on my HBO shows. Like I've never seen True Detective.
We watched season 1 and it was really good. We tried watching season 2, it was so-so, and I really wanted to
Uh,
watch season 3, and I feel like it came and went and I totally missed it.
well, I know right now we're kind of running out of time.
Yeah, I just want to mention one more thing.
Yep.
If you're catching up on HBO shows, give Avenue 5 a real chance. So, Avenue 5, if you haven't watched it, I'm sure you haven't because
Mm-mm.
anyone who's watched it, most people hate it. I thought it was great. It's so weird. It's made by the same makers as Veep. Remember Veep?
Yep.
So, it's the same makers as Veep. Some of the same characters, like some of the same actors, are in it. Not all of them. Julia Louis-Dreyfus is not in it. But it's about a spaceship that's like a cruise liner. It's like cruising around in space is now a thing that
Okay.
gets knocked off course, right? So like it can't go back to Earth for like 8 years.
Okay.
And what's his name? The guy that's the voice of Olaf in Frozen and who is in Book of Mormon. He is supposed to be like Ted Branson. Is that his name? The guy that owns Virgin Galactic or Virgin Express or whatever. He's like the billionaire that owns the thing, and he's on the ship. It's really weird. It's a very dark comedy. It has no problems with it telling a joke and you not laughing. Like, it's not really there to service you. It's such a weird show. Give it a
Oh,
shot.
Hugh Laurie's in it.
Hugh
I like
Laurie
that
is
guy.
like the main character. He's the captain. Um, it's worth watching. It's really weird. You probably won't like it. Most people probably won't like it. It got a really polarizing response online. People are like, "What is this garbage? It is not funny." But it's like really dark and weird. So please do watch it.
I mean, like one other show that I wanted to mention. I thought this a while ago.
Yeah.
I want to. I want to know if you've seen it. Have you seen HBO's Chernobyl?
Yes, I did watch it. I watched it without Mariana, but I did watch it.
That show was so messed up.
Yeah, I watched it without Mariana because sometimes she gets a little freaked out by like radiation and space. So like
Okay.
we watched Gravity and like she was like I do not like that because it's kind of like isolation and like you know
The fear.
yeah
of
it's just
space.
like
Yeah.
the fear of space like no thanks. Chernobyl I watched by myself. It was intense.
Dude, that scene when they show the firefighter,
hmm
I was like, mind you, I got a pretty strong stomach,
Yeah.
but the scene when they show him, I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
Or
oh my,
all of them, right? All the firefighters, like everyone who was there. It's like crazy.
yeah, but that one that they show in the bed,
hmm
and I think the wife was seeing him, and
Mhm.
he looked like hamburger. I was
Yeah.
like, wow, radiation is no joke.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. I mean it's really sad what happened, right? But it's really worth watching, and I thought it was really well acted. That's the guy that was in Mad Men, and he was in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, I think.
Oh, you mean the main guy?
The main guy, yeah, I don't remember his name, but
Yeah, that dude's pretty great.
he's a really good
Yeah, I
actor.
mean,
Yeah.
I watched that show. Then I watched every single making of. because I really like, how HBO has a little episode after it
yeah.
to watch how they made the scenes or whatever the hell. And yeah, that show was dope.
I mean,
The wife hasn't seen that.
See, we did the same thing. We both watched it alone.
I just watched it, but I think she would dig it.
Yeah. It
But,
felt really well researched. Like, it felt like, because I watched some of those making ofs too, and it felt like they really went in to figure out, like, why did the miners not wear shirts? Like because it was 150 degrees and there were no fans. Like, why did they do it this way and not that way? Like, why were they going out hunting animals? Like, it felt really like they did their homework, which was good, because it's like a scary event that happened. So
one of my favorite scenes was in episode, I think it was episode 2.
I'm not gonna remember, but what was it?
The one where they sent, I think it was 3 people to go shut off those valves.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that scene, how they made radiation almost into a monster.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, they had the flashlights and it started to fail because of the intense radiation. And you hear the Geiger counter.
Yeah, that whole episode was just like.
And then when they're in there and they're kind of in the dark, and you see the Geiger counter getting louder, and then it fades to black. You're like, oh my god! Like, you're like, woo child, woo child. No, yeah, that show was really good.
Unlike The Happening, which tried to make wind threatening.
Yeah, you got to outrun the wind.
I feel like Chernobyl made water very threatening. Like, not drowning, but just being in it.
Yeah, that show was really, really good.
But I like The Happening. Let's just say M. Night Shyamalan gets a lot of crap for that movie. I like The Happening. So.
I think I've seen it once.
I like it, except for that one scene when he talks to the fake plant. But otherwise, I like that movie. All right, check this out. I'm going to fade in our leaving music, and then we can say bye. So, I said you should be in control of social media. Have you made any social media?
I have not.
Okay, so people can't like or follow us, which is okay. We are putting our podcast on YouTube, so if you're on YouTube, you can get it there, or go to Anchor, or go to Spotify, Apple, Google, all those things.
So what are you thinking of? Instagram and Twitter?
Yeah.
I mean, what else is big right now?
No, I think that's fine. We can do a TikTok and go.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. I don't know TikTok. I'm too old. We're both too old for TikTok.
Definitely.
Cool. So until next week, I will see you later, Eli.
All right. Deuces.
All right. Bye.